Welcome to part 2 on our series on the laws of exponents. We're going to pick up in our guided notes directly where we left off on the top of page 3. We just did an activity where we looked at powers or exponents with the same base that were being divided. And we learned the more direct way to finding an answer in exponential form is to subtract powers of the same base. So right here we can write in our notes, subtract powers with the same base. Let's do some examples to practice. Here we have y squared times y to the third times y to the fourth. This is one where they're being multiplied, so we're going to end up adding the powers of the same base. So y to the 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals y to the 9th. Next, we have x to the third, y to the third times x squared, y to the third. Well, we know that we can multiply in any order, so I'm just going to rewrite this as x to the third, x squared times y to the third, y to the third. I can add my powers with the same base, so I'll come up with x to the 3 plus 2 times y to the 3 plus 3. From here we can get our final answer. Our final answer, x to the 3 plus 2 is x to the 5th. Y to the 3 plus 3 is y to the 6th. So I get x to the 5th times y to the 6th for my final answer. Our last example here is a division problem. First thing I'm going to do is combine my like terms in the denominator. So I have a to the 7th in the numerator, and then I have a times a to the 4th. Remember, when we just see that a, it means the exponent is 1. So we have a to the 1 plus 4. That gives me a to the 7th over a to the 1, that should say 4, sorry. There we go. 1 plus 4 is 5. So we'll end up with a to the 7 minus 5, because these powers are being divided. 7 minus 5 is 2, so we get a squared for our final answer. Let's take a moment to write out this next example, a 6 to the 4th over 6 to the 7th, the long way. We have 6 times itself 4 times in the numerator, and 6 times itself 7 times in the denominator. Any number over itself is 1, so we can divide out 4 factors of 6 in the numerator and the denominator. So what we're left with is 6 times 6 times 6 in the denominator, and nothing in the numerator, but it's not 0, it's 1. What does this mean? Let's try using our quotient rule to subtract the exponents. So 6 to the 4th, when we were dividing powers with the same base, we knew we could subtract the exponents. So we can represent 6 to the 4th over 6 to the 7th as 6 to the 4 minus 7, or 6 to the negative 3. We have 6 to the negative 3. Does that mean 1 over 6 to the 3rd is 6 to the negative 3? Because if we look above, we have 1 over 6 times 6 times 6. That's equal 1 over 6 to the 3rd. So according to our quotient rule, 1 over 6 to the 3rd would be equal to 6 to the negative 3. That would be true. We're asked if this makes sense. Well, finding the answers each way worked out, so 1 over 6 to the 3rd must be equal to 6 to the negative 3. We're asked, why was the exponent negative answer when we subtracted? Well, because it ended up in the denominator. Remember that other examples had positive answers. That's because the number in the numerator for the exponent was larger. If the number for the denominator is larger, then you're going to have a negative answer. So which answer is considered the most simplified? 1 over 6 to the 3rd or 6 to the negative 3? Generally, we write our answers with only positive exponents when they're fully simplified. So we would write 1 over 6 to the third. Let's try some examples. I'm going to give you a moment to go ahead and try these examples below, and then we'll check our answers. So pause until you have this done, and then we'll check our answers. You can try all 12 examples before you check your answers, and then unpause. Thanks. All right, take a moment to check your answers. What I want you to notice is that in each case, when you have a negative exponent, you can basically flip the spot that it's in. So if that negative exponent's in the numerator, flip that term to the denominator and then make the exponent positive. So for example, here I have 9 to the negative 2. I'm going to rewrite it over on this side. That's like 9 to the negative 2 over 1. I can take the 9 and put it in the denominator squared, but with a positive exponent now because I switched the spot in the fraction. And there's nothing left in the numerator, so I write it as a 1. And it should be noted that you can rewrite that as 1 over 81 instead. All right, so here are your answers for the first 8. If you got one wrong, what you'll want to do is to go through and see if you can find your mistake. If you can't find your mistake, write down the question that you have or contact me. And let's check those last 2. Once again, make sure you retry the problem if you had trouble with it. And write down your questions or contact me. Remember, I said when you have a negative exponent, you're going to switch the spot of the term and then change the exponent to positive. We can say a negative exponent denotes a reciprocal. Let's talk about a couple more laws for our exponents, and then we'll get into scientific notation a little bit. If we have d to the third to a third, we say that's the power raised to a power. What that means is we're taking d to the third, d to the third, d to the third, and we're multiplying it by itself 3 times. We know that when we're multiplying that powers with the same base, we can add the exponents. That's d to the 3, d to the 3, d to the 3, add it together, 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, we get d to the 9th. A quicker way to do that is to multiply the exponents. So this is the same as saying d to the 3 times 3 is d to the 9th. For any powers to a power, we'll say any number x to the a times another power b. We can say that's x to the a times b. You multiply the exponents. For this next example, we can say we have 7x squared times 7x squared. From there, we're going to get 7 times 7, or 7 squared. And x squared times x squared would be x to the 2 plus 2. So we'll get 49x to the 4th. What we're really doing here is we're applying that squared to the x squared term, so we're squaring x squared. But we're also applying that squared to the 7, so we're squaring 7. We're doing a power to a power for x squared times squared, and we're taking 7 to the 1, which is a power to a power again. So we'll get 7 to the 1 times 2 and x to the 2 times 2, which gives that same answer of 49x to the 4th, and also gives us a new rule. What we're doing is called the power rule. Another way to achieve the same answer is to multiply our inside exponent by our outside exponent. For example, we have d to the third is d to the 3 times 3 is d to the 9th, as I explained above. And once again, we call this the power rule. Knowing what we know now, Let's look at this example. What's wrong here? We have 7x squared squared equals 7 to the x to the 2 times 2, or 7x to the 4th. You'll note here that the 2 was only applied to the x squared term. As I explained before, that 2 needs to be applied to each factor inside your parentheses. So we shouldn't have 7x to the 4th, we should have 7 squared x to the 4th, or 49x to the 4th. Once again, that exponent outside your parentheses should be applied to each factor within the parentheses. Please go ahead and try the next 12 examples that are listed on pages 5 and 8 of your document, and then unpause the video to check your answers. Now that you've completed the work, let's check your answers. Here's the first 5. You can pause the video if you need more time. Here's the second set of 5. Notice we have negative 4x raised to the 3rd, and then we have negative, and then we have in parentheses 4x raised to the 3rd. We get the same answer for each of these, whether the negative is inside or outside. The reason for that is we're still taking negative 4 and multiplying it by itself 3 times. If we multiply a negative by itself an odd number of times, we'll always have a negative result. Notice in negative 6a to the 9th squared, we're squaring the negative 6 and we're squaring the a to the 9th. So we're applying that exponent 2 to each factor within. Same deal for the next problem. And our last 2. Notice that for negative 2 times a be the 7th raised to the 3rd that we have right here, the first on the left, for this problem, the negative 2 is not in the parentheses. So the exponent 3 is not applied to that negative 2. The exponent belongs only to what is right next to it. And what is right next to it is whatever is in the parentheses. Just some observations to help you. If you flip to the very last page of your guided notes document, there is a summary of the rules that we've been going over for exponents. We have the product and quotient rule, power of a power and power of a product rule, power of a quotient. Anything raised to the 0 is 1. If we have a negative exponent, we just flip that number to the other part of the fraction. So if it's in the numerator, put it in the denominator, and then make that exponent positive. And then we have the fractional exponent rule, which we won't really encounter as much in our practice, but it is there for you, and it's showing how you can take a fractional exponent and write it as a radical. This is a reference tool that you can use, and the best way to get comfortable with your laws for exponents is to practice. So your job now is you're going to go into pages 6 and 7 of this document, or we've already done 6, so page 7 of this document, and you're going to complete the top 5 examples and then the bottom 5 examples, and then you will check your answers. You can pause the video now, try them, and then I'll reveal the answers at the end of the video and you can check them there. Make sure you write down questions and make sure you contact me if you have anything that you'd like to go over. Thanks. So pause that video now and make sure that you're trying those examples on page 7. All right, friends, time to check those answers. You can pause the video so you can have more time to analyze, but here are the answers to the first 5. Note that for the second one, when you take negative u and raise it to the 10th, it becomes a positive number. That's because it's raised to an even exponent. And remember, negative times negative is positive, so every factor is going to have a buddy there. That's why you get a positive. So check those first 5 answers, and then I'll put up the next ones. All right, here's the answers to your last set of examples. These ones focus on flipping your fraction and then applying the exponent. Let me know if you have questions.